The world is filled with color. How much of it is in the world you've built for your story? Welcome to Jenn's Writing World. If you have a story to tell, you are in the right place. Let's do it 10 minutes at a time. Well, we have reached the middle of Camp Nanowrimo. I hope your story is still going strong. Hope you are still writing every day or most days. And whatever your project is, I hope it is going well. Today I want to talk about color. I love to color. And isn't it funny that color is both a noun and a verb? Mostly I color with crayons, sometimes colored pencils. I have lots of markers, lots of different colored implements in general, because I never know what's going to strike my fancy. But the question is this: how much color is in your story? Now, you might have to say, I don't really want to use the words that mean colors. If a car is a certain color, it might be important to your plot. So go ahead and say, that the red Mustang drove by, or the pink Fiat, or whatever it is. Like I talked about yesterday with drinks, everybody drives a different kind of car, and we may not always notice. But I'm here to tell you that, interestingly enough, a lot of people do. Short tangent. Not really to do with color, but a little bit. When I worked at Carl's Jr., we had to park in a section that was visible from the drive-thru. And if you wanted to know if somebody was at work or not that day, ask the drive-thru person, because they knew what everybody drove and could tell you in a moment whether that car was parked out there. And I just drove a black Toyota Solara, but they knew my black Toyota Solara. And I'd be willing to bet one of the things they noticed about everybody's car was its color. A great opportunity for you to throw some detail in the color in your story. Now, color does not have to be boring. Let me give an example. I talk about the first mystery I ever wrote, not published. I did make a podcast of it. I can put the link down below. It is still live. Too dark to read, and I read my entire book. But since then, I've been editing it again, so it's not hardly that story anymore. However, the color in the story is still there. So my main character, tough on her luck, buys an old farmhouse, but she doesn't have a lot of money, even though she has a lot of skill. So it's taking her many years to restore this farmhouse to its former glory. And she worked on the inside a lot, and she's just finally getting to the outside. And she has a lot of problems with the town and with her past, and she's a woman with a lot of problems. So here is this house, and it is run down. And when the other main character, he's from New York, kind of transplanted to the country, sees the house for the first time, he sees a mess. Why does he see a mess? He sees a mess because this house is shades of pink, green, and yellow, kind of tie-dyed, because the paint has peeled over time and different layers have been exposed. So now imagine a house that's kind of a tie-dyed house. It reflects the chaos in her life. It reflects the confusion in his life, because he's never seen a house like this before. And as she fixes this house up, it is a metaphor for fixing her life. And so the color is very, very important. Now, color's not always important, but the point is that we shouldn't just say, oh, she walked into the house. Let's mention what color the house is. This is easier done if it's the first time you walked into your house. If you walked into the house 100 times, you probably don't notice the color of the house, but you notice change. And this is the point. So you walk into the house and somebody's changed the sofa. It's a new sofa. And you're going to be like, wait, that's a new sofa. Well, don't just say it's a new sofa. Say, oh, you had to get red leather. Was that really necessary? Now, instead of seeing a sofa, which can mean anything to the reader now sees a red leather sofa, and they can decide whether they agree with the character that that's a good idea or a bad idea. And it's all about adding color. So it's really easy to ignore color because it can sound cliched and hard to add, but I promise you, it's actually rather easy to do. Just make sure you're not mentioning the everyday. But change, especially in books, happens all the time, and it is a great time to add color when you are talking about change. All right, let's get writing. All right, I have a beautiful sunny day, so once again I'm on the sofa so that I can enjoy the view out the window. Got the timer set here for 10 minutes. Remember, we want to do color today. Lots of color in our stories. And let's get started. 3, 2, 1, start. All right, well, I hope your 10 minutes of writing was full of color today. One of the important things about color is it can be added in the second draft if you forget about it. So it is something you can just make a note about and go back and add it. But I do hope it is something that you add to your stories. We live in a colorful world, and the world that we write about should be colorful also. All right, enough about color. If you liked what we talked about today, you can go ahead and subscribe to get more of it. Hit the little bell. And if you had a good writing session, I hope you'll give me a like. I do appreciate it. And as always, please share the channel with your writing friends so that we can all write together. All right, today's quote is by Lawrence Block. And he wrote some of my favorite books on how to write. And he also writes really great novels. And this is what he said. One thing that helps is to give myself permission to write badly. I tell myself that I'm going to do my 5 or 10 pages no matter what, and that I can always tear them up the following morning if I want. I'll have lost nothing. Writing and tearing up 5 pages would leave me no further behind than if I took the day off. This is one reason why I love to write every day, because bad pages can be fixed, but blank pages cannot. So I hope that you're writing every day, whether it's good or bad, because eventually it will be great. So long from Jenn's writing world. Until the next time, write, write, write.